Alright, hello and welcome to my guide on Gangplanks Kegs and what you can do with them. Alright, so to get started we're just going to be doing the most basic and easiest tricks, and we'll be working our way up to the more challenging and difficult and advanced tricks that you can do with this keg. So this is definitely the most easy, the most simple. If you're going to be playing Gangplank, you should definitely know how to do this. But when you start out, you place down one barrel, and you should take into account that the range that it shows when you're placing down a barrel is actually slightly smaller than what the barrel's range is, because if I place the barrel right here, the AoE will still overlap over the second barrel. See that? It's a small difference, but it still makes a difference when you're in game. Alright, so you place down the second barrel, and as soon as you place down this one right here, you shoot this. So it's going to look like this when you go a little bit faster. Place down this barrel, the first one, and then you'll wait. Place down the second one and immediately go back to the first one. Shoot it. You're gonna that's pretty much all you're going to be doing in lane and harass. There's a couple other things that you can do in lane, but that's definitely going to be your main technique. Alright, so the next one that we're going to be doing might take a little bit more practice. It's a little bit more challenging. It's definitely a lot faster. It's a lot harder to dodge for the enemy. It's a little less suspecting. So you place down your first one. You have to be at max range in order for this to work. And while the bullet from your parlay is traveling through the air, you're going to be placing down a second barrel right next to it, or if you're standing like this, you can place a second barrel over there. Alright, so while it's channeling, place down the second barrel. Alright, and the next one that you're going to be able to, the next one is a little bit more challenging, but it is definitely useful for distracting the enemies, or surprising them, catching them off guard. So you're going to have 3 barrels for this one. First you start out by placing down 2 barrels. You can do this as fast as you want. As long as you have 3 barrels, you're going to need at least a level 2 or a level 1 ulti in order to do this quickly. If not, you have to set up the 2 barrels first and then do it. But what you're going to do is you're going to shoot. You're going to place down the 2 barrels and you're going to shoot one, and as the explosion is traveling from one barrel to the next, you're going to place down a 3rd barrel. So this is what it's going to look like. And you can use that to catch people off guard. So if you are standing, let's say right here or something, and there's an enemy over there, they might not think that you'll be able to hit them with a barrel or anything, and kind of catch them off guard by shooting this barrel and then running up and throwing down a 3rd one. But as you can see, I wasn't close enough, so you're going to have to be careful about that. So make sure when you're going to place your 3rd barrel, you're already in range before you shoot the first one. Alright, so the next thing that you're going to have to learn before playing Gangplank is it's another 3-barrel combo, but
down if I can't have it.
This can be really good for initiating fights on things like Dragon, even ganking a different lane. I wouldn't use it too much in lane, just because there's other things like you shoot the first one, throw down the second one. There's other things like that. But this definitely has a lot of range. It takes too many barrels, so I wouldn't use this in lane just because you don't want to wait for all those cooldowns. If you're going to be initiating on like a gank or something, you're going to want to be able to get the slow off and all the damage that it provides before they can realize that you're even there, or dodge, or get out of the lane. So what you do is you have your first barrel down. So let's say you're standing in a bush by bot lane and you are about to gank. You would stand in the bush. You'd be standing on top of a barrel. You'd throw down one on top of them, and then quickly throw down another one right in the middle, and you shoot. So I'm gonna do this a little bit quicker. Place down your first one.
My vengeance will.
You might want to lead it a little bit, so don't place them directly inside the range or the explosion, just because might take a little bit of time for them.
Do I look like a patient?
So it's a little bit slower than some previous things that you've been shown, but it definitely has a lot more range, and there's no setup that you have to do before it besides the one that you're standing on. If you're standing in a bush and they don't see you, it won't really matter that you set that one up first because they can't see you. Alright, another one. Now this one, I don't really use this too often, but there are some situations in which you might want to consider using it. One thing that I have to point out before showing you this is when one explosion from one barrel is traveling with the explosion of another barrel, it makes the barrel untargetable. So you can use this to your advantage to surprise people, catch them off guard. But watch, as I destroy this first barrel, it's going to make this one untargetable. So, if you have a barrel like way out, and someone thinks that they're going to be able to get this really only works against melee champions. This is why it doesn't work all the time, but if you have a barrel, say right there, and you think that they're about to go and destroy the barrel that you have way out there, then you can be standing like right here. You shoot this barrel, and as your bolt's traveling, you're going to throw down one right in the center, try and catch them.
Slow death will
it's gonna look a little
be
something like
reward.
Alright. Well, here, let me try that again so you guys can see what it looks like. Without me messing up this time. Alright. Alright, so that's it, right there. Alright, and the next one is like the one that I showed you before, where you place down two barrels, and then you shoot the first one, and you throw down the third barrel. It's like that, except you're going to do that all in one quick succession. So, the way you start it out is, I'm going to show you guys slowly first, walk through it. You place down one barrel, then you place down the second one, and as the barrels are decaying, you want to move closer. You're going to shoot this first one that you placed down earlier, but you want to do this all before this one hits 1 health. You want to do that. You want to do this quickly so they can't react. So you're gonna place down this first barrel right here. Then you're gonna go and place down the second one, and quickly you're gonna turn around and shoot this. You're gonna want to be at least level 6 before you do this, but all right. So you're gonna place down these two barrels, and you're gonna shoot that one. Throw down the third one over there. All right. I'm gonna do this a little bit quicker now, so you guys can see what it looks like when you actually do this. Alright. That's what it's going to look like. If you want to try and catch people by using it, but it's going to cost you 3 barrels, and you're going to use them all in one go, so if you aren't sure about hitting that, you're definitely going to want to hold out on that before you know that you can hit that. Or else you're just going to be wasting 3 barrels, and you're going to be sitting there for 30 seconds waiting for your barrels to recharge. And when you're using your barrels, you have to try and make sure you hit these, because they do have a long cooldown. You don't want to be sitting there for a long time waiting for your barrels, because when it comes to Gangplank, pretty much all of his damage comes from his barrels. He has a little bit from his parlay just because it also procs Sheen, but basically all of your damage is going to be coming from your barrels. It also ignores 50% of their armor, does bonus damage. You won't want to be using just parlay when you have kegs. Alright, so the next trick that you can learn how to do is place down one barrel, and you're going to place down a second barrel right here, but as you do that, you're going to be shooting the first one. So you're going to, this one's pretty quick, this one's a little more advanced, but you're going to place down the second barrel, quickly shoot this one, and since there's a 0.25 second delay on his kegs in between placements, you're going to be shooting this immediately after you place this barrel, and you're going to be placing down a third one over here. This is, you have to do this pretty quickly. So it's going to look a little something like that, but you're going to have to do it quicker. I'm about to do this in 1 second. This is good if like their whole entire team is in front of you or something, or there's multiple people trying to catch you. You can do this to quickly just hit them all and make sure that you don't like miss because it covers a lot of ground. So you're gonna be able to, and in between each explosion, when each keg blows up, it gives you movement speed. So if you get ganked by multiple people and you can quickly pull this off, you can slow the laner and the jungler and whoever else is ganking them. And it can help you get out of a lot of situations. So what you do is you place down that barrel. This helps. It's a lot faster when you're level 13. It's much more useful. Shoot that and then place down the third. This is just so you can get away when you get ganked. I wouldn't use it for poking or anything like that. It does take 3 barrels. But when I'm in lane, you want to just throw a barrel down behind you. Say that's like my tower right there or something. You want to just be sitting on top of your barrels and farming. So you should have a good amount of barrels. Most of the time when you're in lane, you want to keep your barrels on cooldown because you can only stack up to 2 when you're in lane. But once you actually start getting some levels, you can start doing you can start playing a little bit more aggressive because you're holding on to more barrels. And you need barrels in order to play aggressive because without them, Gangplank doesn't do a whole lot. Alright. So, that pretty much concludes the guide to Gangplank's kegs. If there are any combos or anything that I missed, then just let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching.